Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The New York Yankees are pretty good, Trev. The Brewers continue to roll and start fights. Cubbies, oh no. Let's yuck ball. That's all we do.
I picked off.
Ball.
No.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. Code Talkin10. It's a big ep. It's June. May the June the 3rd be with you. Also, Trev's heading out to New York City, which that means our hostility is usually on edge. Just, knowing that both of our Schwartzes will be in the same town. I don't know. The testosterone gets boosted a little bit. Trevor Plouffe, how are you?
Jacob and Davis and everyone watching, listening. I'm doing great. Had a nice little weekend trip to Napa. Yes, back on the bird, headed straight to New York. Nikki Cass is going to be at the game tomorrow as well.
Wow.
This testosterone is immense. But I'm excited for what lies ahead. And could you imagine? Like I was thinking about this the other day. Just a guy in Magnum Condom Studio trying to figure it out in the media game. And all of a sudden, I'm gonna be calling a baseball game from Yankee Stadium.
Look at that.
I can't wait, man.
I already told you I'm gonna get a press pass, and I'm actually thinking of getting a stink bomb, which I don't know how that works. I don't even really know what a stink bomb is, but I can't. I know you were kind of talking some junk, I can't get to the TV area.
Yeah, you don't have the security clearance to get through there.
I can, and I have, and I will. And if you keep saying stuff, I'm going to figure out a stink bomb.
This is all I'm going to do. I'm going to get a nice, crisp $100 bill. I'm going to give a picture of you and give the $100 bill to the security guard. Say, if you see this dude, slap him in the face.
Trev, you're forgetting Yankee Stadium. The one place I'm a half celebrity in this world. So your money's no good here, sir. You want to tell the people you're good? Big weekend in Napa. Big weekend of
ball. Had a great weekend.
Royce Lewis is back. That's got your tea going.
Yeah, but Royce Lewis means Eddie Julian's out. We'll talk about that. And tough.
You and Olivia looked great. From
Thank you. How are you doing?
Instagram. I'm good. I'm good. I had one big day this weekend. Rangers playoffs. Watched some Mets Snakes. Bopped around the city a little bit. And it was a nice time. Dude, it's like summer in the city. The city kind of clears out a little bit. The speed changes.
Ooh, that's nice.
Even just walking around today, we're downtown and I don't know, the speed of the city was a little different today. Couple less people, and I think a couple more people just in summer mode. Let's try to enjoy our time on this little rock. And that's what most of the episode will be about. Life lessons.
Yeah, I like that.
Should we get into it, Trev?
Yeah, it's Monday, so let's do it.
It's Monday, so we do National League, West to East. And we have a new partner. Field of Greens, Trev.
Oh, I got this. I've been using it.
Brick House Nutrition, named after me, allegedly.
Yeah.
People, I'm starting to feel this a lot more. I am 34 now, even though I don't look like it. My neck has been killing me for a week. Okay. Take care of your body. Listen to Chris Rose when he tells you how miserable he is. Congrats to him on Brady Rose graduating high school. Take care of your health and do it with Field of Greens. Each fruit and veggie selected by doctors to support vital body functions like heart, liver, kidneys, metabolism, and immune system. And yeah, we've got it on the screen there. They sent us a bunch out here. Looks like they sent Trev some too. They don't always do that. Don't look back and say I should have paid attention to nutrition when I was younger. Field of Greens is a key to better health today when it matters the most. Let's get you started with a little 15% discount. Absolutely. And free shipping. Visit fieldofgreens.com. Use promo code TALKIN. That's promo code Talkin at fieldofgreens.com. There's a link in the description. You've got this in the crib, Trev?
I do, and they send you a very unique shaker bottle with it. So I've been using it in the mornings, kind of like as my first thing onto the gut. You don't want to just put coffee right away onto it. So do a little bit of water. I'll have my Field of Greens, and then I'll go to my coffee. But yeah, I'm all about that, man. Like any way you can get vitamins and nutrients in, and that easily, give it to me.
And Trev, look
how good I look.
I'll toot your own horn. I was gonna make it narcissistic a little bit. You're looking great. There's a couple ball players who are doing media stuff that don't they haven't held up as well.
Name their names.
Say their names.
I mean, across sports historically, you notice some players move one way, some the other.
Right.
You've moved
Get
the
you
good
some
way.
Brick House, moisturized SPF. You're good.
I am a little brick house. Let's talk some American League Baseball, please. And let's talk about a great ball club. They're just a second-place team these days. The Baltimore Orioles. They take 2 out of 3 from the Tampa Bay Rays. It was almost a sweep, but the Jose's came out late night, or at the end of the game. Caballero and Siri. If the Rays are winning a game, Jose Siri has been involved this past week and a half. Enough about them, because it's the Birds, man. Anthony Santander. And Albert Suarez, where is he from? Did they just player?
He appeared out of thin air.
They just player-generated him. My guy Ryan Mountcastle, Bachelorette buddies. You're going to hear more about him later. I think they had 4 homers in that second game. Won 8 out of 9 at going into the final game. Orioles are kind of back on pace, just kind of getting overshadowed by the team ahead of them. The Kansas City Royals, always a fun weekend down there. They do that like legit celebrity softball game. Like everyone's down there. It's pretty crazy. I don't know who won the celebrity softball game. I think I saw Rob Riggle with the trophy. Otherwise, you saw the Padres winning games. They put up 11 runs in that first game and like 18 hits. Pretty insane. Arise had 4 of them. They went nuts. They won the second game, too. Ha-Sung Kim, Fernando. Our guy Higgy gets in the mix, which he hasn't done a lot of this year. Royals end up salvaging the last day. Call Rygans. But actually, Nelson Velasquez, the big pinch hit against Yuki Matsui. You want to see a fun matchup? Look at big Salvi Perez in the box with Yuki Matsui on the mound. We were comparing a lot of things on their body. Kansas City avoids getting swept in that final game. Tigers and Red Sox, they split 4. Jack Flaherty keeps it going. A little no-hit bid for him to help the Tigers win 5-0 in that first game. Sox, kid, they take the next 2. How's your Emmanuel Valdez 2-homer game? How's Tanner Houck going for the Cy Young this year? My goodness, he's been gross. Rafaela with 2 homers. Dom Smith in the middle of their lineup? What? Tigers, they come back. They win the final game in extras. Fun note for the program, Jamie Westbrook makes his MLB debut. Co-Tuck guy, 11 years in the minors. Awesome.
Your fingerprints are all over.
My fingerprints are all over this season. Speaking of fingerprints, your Twins take down my Astros. They win 2 out of 3. They take the bread games. Pablo Lopez, his longest start of the season, 7 innings, 1 earned run. Carlos Santana playing that beautiful music. Let me see your dong. He hits 2 in the middle game with Framber shoving Tucker and Jose Abreu. But this has been the Astros season. They lose the series on getaway day. Trevor Larnach, a couple games with a homer. Breggy's starting to go, but Astros aren't winning. Theme of this season, the team that has started really going, the Seattle Mariners. They sweep the Halos. They're starting pitching. You're going to hear more about that later in the program. Ty France, it's not tied anymore after he gets involved. Mariners, the vibes are high. Julio starting to hit a little bit. Him and JP are just slapdicking on the field. because you can when you're winning games. Cole Tucker takes the bump, and that makes us a little H. But that's kind of all they've got going on for the Halos right now. Reed Detmer sent down. Wow. Guardians, they take 2 out of 3, and that's obvious. That's what they've done all year. They do it against the Nationals. I got some interesting stuff on their offense, and Stephen Kwan is back and hitting again for them. Kyle Lamborghini Manzardo with a 2 RBI day on the second one. They dropped the last game because Jake Irvin has been shoving for the Nats. Lane Thomas is back. You know that. And Toronto, they took 2 out of 3 from Pittsburgh. Mitch Keller had a good start. Otherwise, it's Barrios, George Springer. And how about Vladdy Jr. back on Trevor Plouffe's hot corner to get some more big boys in the lineup? Okay, we're not trading them. It doesn't make sense. No, it does make sense. Trevor Plouffe given the standings.
I got him right here, obviously. And it's Monday today?
Sure.
First of all, great job, Pop. What did you just read? The American League? I wasn't listening to you at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
I'm going to
still
start in the
Napa.
West.
You reek of
I'm going to
Merlot.
start in the West. Bordeaux?
A Merlot, Trev.
Oh my gosh, that's even worse to say, Merlot. A reap of a Napa Valley, high on the hilltops, rocky soil cab sauv.
Oh,
Okay?
the 2018 Pinot Noir.
Oh man, I had some great meals there. In the West,
Yeah.
the Mariners.
Mm.
Doing it. More on them later. 34-27, 4 games ahead of the Texas Rangers, who are under 500 at 29-30. The Astros, as you mentioned, just have not been able to get it going at all. 26-34. They're 7.5 games back. It is June 3rd, people. Wow. The Oakland A's 24-37 and the LA Angels 21-38. In the Central, those dang Guardians, they do keep winning. David Fry keeps hitting.
Crazy.
What's up with that, man? They're kind of balling out. David Fry, Naylor, Ramirez. They have a lineup now?
I have some
They're-
good commentary to add to that in 1 second, but please finish.
They're 39-20. 4 games ahead of the Kansas City Royals, who are 36-25. 6 games ahead of my Minnesota Twins, who are 33-26. The Tigers slip under 500. They're 29-30. And the White Sox, oh my goodness, they are 15-45. Quick math. That's 30 games under 500.
Oh,
That's quick math. And in the East, your Yankees, I got to be honest with you, man, they look really, really freaking good. Aaron Judge, good ball player. Juan Soto, good ball player. Giancarlo Stanton hits balls off the end of the bat that still leave the yard. They're 42-19, 3 games ahead of the Baltimore Orioles, who are 37-20. The Boston Red Sox sitting right there, 11.5 games back, but they're at 500 at 30-30. The Rays 29-31, and the Toronto Blue Jays at 28-30. And those are the standings in the American League.
Toronto. Trev, mentioning some other people, former players who are now baseball media men. Late last night, I saw a post from a guy who, A, still looks incredible. You unfortunately have a sneaky, horribly rude nickname for him that makes me laugh every time. T2, Trevor May. The Cleveland...
That's not a bad nickname. He's Terminator 2.
Yeah, I mean...
And also Trevor, the second Trevor on the team.
Right, second Trevor. I mean, it's kind of
just
tough.
an age thing.
I know. He posted a fantastic video. Cleveland, last year, the Jake Progressive Field, was the worst ballpark to hit in. And this year, ballpark factor, it's rating out the best ballpark to hit in. And there could be a little bit of small sample, but they also got rid of some bleachers up top that, I don't know, it's one of those...
Changes the wind patterns.
I sent it to my 2 nerds. I sent it to Jolly Olive and Foolish Baseball last night, and I was like,
those guys are nerds.
Is this something? And they were both like, holy crap, yeah, like this is. So I don't know, just an interesting note.
Well, that's been on real baseball fans' minds since the beginning of the season. When you make changes to the stadium and the wind comes into play, yeah, it's going to be different. But I didn't see Trevor's video, but I did see something else, an article, because I'm a reader.
Right.
written on that. And that is, I mean, look, it is interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. I am looking right now, and maybe this is not for this show, but I'm looking at Baseball Reference front page is where I get my standings. And there are two guys. This picture right here, if you could go, Davis, and get this up, Dick Ruthven. He looks like Brad Pitt. And
Okay.
I don't know anything about this guy. Ruthven, Ruthven.
Okay.
Oh, see, now his picture is not like Brad Pitt when I click on the page.
There's a little jealousy in your voice right now.
Was he even good? Yeah, look at him. Bottom right.
Oh, okay. You like that. That's
18.4 career WAR, 4.14 starting pitcher.
He's got that big chin jowls thing going.
That's a bad
But then
picture.
this
That's a bad
picture
picture.
doesn't look like Brad Pitt.
It's a little-
This picture does.
Little Kevin Ginkle meets Brad Pitt. Is that Billy Cock?
I love. This is my favorite part of the day, just looking at these pictures and like finding out who these people are.
Enough of your fetishes. In the American League, and it's a bummer we can't talk more Yankees. Trev, actually, let's aim wide for a second because we are seeing it's June. It's June 3rd. And some young guys that this sport is very hard. Reed Detmers has a perfect game and some good seasons under his belt. Torkelson was a dark horse for me to lead the American League in homers this year. And your guy, Eddie Julian, the rumors are flying that he'll be sent down after having a brilliant start to his career as well. I mean, is it simple as tough sport, see you next time, make the adjustment? Or I don't know. I guess what else is there to add on that?
I think each one of these situations is different. It is that time where, okay, we've given you 2 months to get it going and we need to make a change. You need to make a change, depending on the team. So for the Twins, we'll start with Julian because I'm close to the situation. I don't think it's official yet, but it is official. Like, when you start to see him coming out of the manager's office, hugging people, talking to people. Royce Lewis was coming up. They had to make a decision. It was going to be somebody. It was going to be him. It was going to be Farmer, possibly Margot. But Julian has really struggled at the plate with breaking balls specifically. And he's such a patient hitter. And I think he has everything that you need to be a successful big league hitter. But this is the first time he struggled in his entire baseball life, like since college. And when you get into these ruts and you haven't been able to deal with it yet or before, I think mentally it was wearing on him as well. Probably more than anything, just mentally wearing on him. A lot of times it seemed like he was in between pitches because he knew they were going to attack him with breaking balls, but he wanted to stay on the fastball. They're presenting these breaking balls as balls and then ending it back up the strike zone a lot of the times. And there was just a lot of like indecision. So he'll go down, he'll work on things, and there's no doubt in my mind like he's going to be a very successful big league hitter. So I think his situation is a little different from Torkelson's. Like Torkelson is just he had last year where he hit 31 homers. All the peripherals around it weren't, I don't think, that great. And it's one of those things where maybe the expectations were a little too high on him because he's had, how many plate appearances has he had now over this big league career? It's been a while. He got sent down in 2022, spent the whole year up last year. And he's got, 1,200 plate appearances at bats. Like you're starting to understand what kind of hitter you are when you get into those territories. Career numbers, 296 OBP. That's not going to get it done.
Yeah.
Like if you're not playing defense, this isn't going to get it done. 386 slug for a guy that's supposed to be a prolific power hitter. It hasn't been there for him and hasn't, last year was his best year. Overall numbers last year, 758 OPS, 313 OBP. Like that should be the bottom. That should be the bottom for him. If you're going to be a slug first type player, like that's your worst year. And that's been his best year. Now he's only 24 years old. He's got plenty of time to figure it out, but he needs to go down there and like really, really make an adjustment. Really, really, learn to understand the strike zone a little bit more. Learn when to be aggressive, how to be aggressive the right way, because you have to learn that stuff. They'll take advantage of you if you don't know how to do it the right way. And I think for him, he's really got to go down and do some soul searching and figure out how can I come back up and be the guy who I think I can be.
Yeah, and Reed Detmers had some quotes like, "Hey, I don't have my slider right now. I don't have my slider or confidence."
He's one of my favorite pitchers to watch in the big leagues. I've seen him a lot live randomly, I guess, because I do the Angels games and I'll see some from time to time on TV. He has no hit perfect game stuff every single time he goes out. I mean, he can dominate a lineup, but he does get erratic. He does fall behind hitters. If he doesn't have his strikeout pitch, which is that slider, I mean, that's tough. He started the year off really well. I mean, we have the numbers right here. He had 2.12 in his first 5 starts of the year, and then in May it's just gone nuclear on him. So for him, I think him and Julia need to go make small adjustments. And Torkelson, in my opinion, needs to go down there and kind of revamp a lot of different things.
And I think it's part of the reason baseball people are sick puppies. It's a game of failure, and it's a game of it's a humbling game. This is when you find out, like, hey, maybe Spencer Torkelson wears this, and everything you said, control the zone, maybe some different approaches at different times. That I always try to get in a player's head, and it humbles everyone except like Juan Soto. Shout out Yankees.
Everybody.
Like Spencer Torkelson's probably, last year he was 23, former 1-1 pick, and like you said, he puts up 31 homers. That there's probably a part of him that's, he was saying he was going to lead the AL in homers this year. To find yourself with that stat line and back in AAA, that's when you find out. And it's something that you always harp on. There's no replacement for putting in the work, man. So excited to see the next step for these guys. And it's that time of year, dude. It's June. Like the Mariners fired their hitting offensive coordinator, which is still a funny word in baseball. Here's a game plan, fella. Hits and runs. Let's talk about...
Well, opposite, I just want to go on Torkelson real quick. His chase rate has actually been pretty good this year. The four-seam fastballs have caught up to him. He's hitting 179 on four-seam fastballs. -3 run value. Last year, in his career best year, hit 265, slug 514 against those same pitches. So if you're not hitting the four-seam fastball, well, you better be doing something else well. And he seems like he's hitting off speed okay, but they're just getting blown away by fastballs. So that's the timing thing.
Get that foot down.
It could we don't like to say that anymore. Just be on time.
Okay.
Be on time.
Okay. Trev, I threw in the Mariners offensive coordinator getting fired, which is a fun note, but the better note for Mariners fans, 21-11 at home, tied for the second best home mark through 32 games in franchise history. The starting pitching, which I have more notes on later on, has been special. And it's the Halos. Halos are having a tough season. Our guy Cole Tucker did look handsome and brilliant on the mound. But when that's their series highlight, along with Detmers being sent down, they put together a late rally in that final game. Mitch Garver with the big hit to blow it open. And they have full-blown taken control of the American League West. And we've been saying, feels like the same Mariners, right? And it kind of does. But it also feels like their starting pitching has been a step better. And again, I've been doing this glass half full, glass half empty thing where it's like, well, they're not hitting. Well, if they start hitting, they can be one of the best teams in baseball.
There's my guy Cole. Oh my gosh, dude.
You don't see a lot of pitchers with that lettuce.
He was just having fun with it too.
Dude, he made a great play, and that's a reminder that pitchers are not athletes, but Mariners.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the pitching has held them the entire year, and if they do get going offensively, they scored 19 runs in this series. That's the most they've done in a series. Most runs they've scored in a series all year, a 3-game series. 10-3-1 in their last 14 series. I mean, that's how you take control of a division, especially one that's struggling to get going. And that's like they played some really good teams. It's like one of their harder parts of their schedule. They go 10-3-1 in series, and they've been in first place. I have this is a tweet I found last night as I was prepping for the show. I screenshot it. So I better give a shout out to East Coast M's on X. Thank you for this note. They've been in first place in the AL West for 42 straight days.
Okay.
Sure. Seattle, stand up a little bit.
Sure.
My goodness. Yeah, if they get going, they have enough to make moves if they need to. Although, like, I don't know if they necessarily need to. It's like you got your team. Like, just let's start going, guys. Julio, let's be the guy you can be. Let's be second half Julio, right?
Yeah, I would be interested. Again, Mariners fans, you tell us because we're starting to
Pete Alonso. Everyone's saying Pete Alonso to the Mariners.
Yeah, but that's before Ty France started kind of balling out again.
You got a DH position.
You do.
Offensive coordinator knows you got a DH position.
I'd love to. Mariners fans, you let us know because it's starting to become deadline dreaming season. In my head, it would be an impact lefty bat. Kind of to pair with Julio and Cal switch hits. But maybe I'm wrong. So I'm open to it, Seattle. And their starting pitching is doing historic things. That again, we'll do more of later. Mitch Garver, a big free agent acquisition. He gets a big hit for them. Hopefully that can wake him up a little bit. And Halos. Yeah, I don't think we even need to discuss that. You got anything? I mean, baby birds. My Orioles don't even know if they're baby birds anymore. They are.
They're not baby birds anymore. They're not, dude.
Well, see, they just called up a new one.
No, they did. Is he blonde?
I looked him up. I don't think he's blonde.
Is it one of the pitchers? Who they call up?
No, they called up another.
Fall in line and dye your hair blonde.
Another infielder pulling up the pass and tweet. I believe he's their number 6 prospect, Connor Norby. 23-year-old infielder.
Yeah. Real pop.
He's in Toronto this weekend.
Is there a corresponding move?
Haven't seen the corresponding move. Looking into it.
Okay.
Quick on the birds. I'm not going to call them baby birds. These guys are freaking grown-ass blonde men. I was going to do this award about infields and WAR, and I was going to say, Big Baby Davis knows what he's talking about because he loves the Phillies infield so much, and they've been great in their own right. But as I started crunching the numbers, just going along Fangraphs, catcher, first base, second base, shortstop, third base, WAR. I didn't do all the teams. I don't know how to do that, so I just was adding them up by myself, which is awesome. That's probably a really stupid thing for me to do. Baltimore right now, catcher 1.4, first base 1.1, second base 2.9, shortstop 3.7, attaboy Gunner, and third base 2.4 for 11.5 WAR out of their infield so far this year. The Dodgers, next closest team to them, with 11 in those 5 positions, buoyed by shortstop Mookie Betts is 4.3.
4.3. It's June.
Had the Yankees going, then they weren't close.
Okay.
They're more outfield DH.
Yeah, we got that going on in a big way.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a couple interesting notes. The Baltimore Orioles, here's a fun one, have now gone 19 straight AL East series without a series loss, going back to April 23. So in division, they've handled their business. And you mentioned the Seattle just like winning series and how important that is, and that sounds obvious. The Rays are 6-13 in series openers, which, like, I don't know. That's just one of those things you hear at the for whatever reason. A start of a series and an end of a series are a little more important, whether it's a happy flight or whether it's just getting into it. I'm so interested to see the Orioles and the Yankees are going to tee it up the rest of this year, and it's going to be fun and very cool. The Rays, I don't know which path this goes.
I don't either.
Because there's some again, here's a stat that I can't tell you if it's really good or really bad. The Rays are 12-4 in one-run games and 21-9 in games decided by 2 runs or fewer. So what does that mean? Does that mean this team is really good and close and wins are going to come? Or does it mean they struggle to put up a lot of runs so they play close games? Like, I don't know what's next for them.
I don't know either. They could go on a prolific run and we'd all be like, oh, okay, I understand that now. But they've lost 9. Well, wait, excuse me. Before the last game, they lost 9 of the last 12. That's no bueno for the Rays.
Let's see. I think for me,
you want to go Vladdy Bo real quick? Just touch on it for the Toronto fans. Well, I mean, we're getting all sorts of different information. I agree with Ross Atkins when he says it doesn't make any sense for them because they still have these guys for next year. Vladdy's been going off, and I feel like they still feel like they're in this thing. Obviously, the extra playoff spot helps, but he also kind of has to say that if he was thinking about trading one of these guys or both of them, you can't just say, "Yeah, we're actively shopping." Like that just takes away value and leverage and stuff like that. So, it's interesting that Vlad shifted their base. Curious about that. I like it for Vladdy. I think it kind of lights a fire under you as a player when you need to, you move a position and just kind of reignites that a little bit. So that's interesting to me. I don't know. I don't have much on it other than I don't think it makes sense for them. Would I like to see it as a baseball fan? Sure. I think both those guys could use a change of scenery. I think they're both still very, very good players, and that would, propel them, I think, to kind of get back to the players we think they can be. But for the Blue Jays, what does that mean if you trade those guys for your franchise,
right,
for your organization the next 5
next?
years? I mean, it makes you think, like, hey, we're going to go into a rebuilding phase.
Yeah, we like in baseball when someone presses a button and it works. So the fact they won that Vladdy at third game, like the team feels that a little bit. I couldn't believe it. It hadn't been since 2019. Like, what, dude? That's a different life ago. So yeah, I'm interested to see what's next for these Jays. They've handled their business. I think it was White Sox and then winning 2 out of 3 against the Pirates. It gets a little more serious. They're playing Baltimore for 4 at home. Just mentioned Baltimore hasn't lost to an AL East opponent in over a year. They get Oakland, which take care of your medicine. Then it's Milwaukee, Cleveland, Boston, Cleveland, Boston. Oh, dude, Yanks, Houston, Seattle. Toronto's in it, man. Like, it's fight or flight leading up to the deadline, and I guess the good thing for them is they still control their own fate in a way. But compared to how Cleveland has played this year, heck, compared to how Boston has played this year, Toronto's got to show a different version of themselves. But if they can find a big June and win some ball games, otherwise, they're still in last place.
They are in last place.
Still in last place.
Vladdy in 2019 had a -20 outs above average at their base.
It's a little thick, little young,
A little thick, little young.
I've been there.
That's a good way to put it.
Been there.
Real good way to put it.
Anything else from around the AL? Padres, which they're getting lumped in the AL, which is funny. Our Yanks are coming up in the NL. A little bit of an injury bug with their pitching staff coming up, so it's going to be interesting to see how they react to that. Anna Rise has to come out of the last game. I think we're waiting on the next update there. It didn't look too bad. But Padres, who have been winning a lot of ball games recently, playing a better brand of baseball. They win a series against a very good Kansas City team. And I think, the 0-5 trying to sweep teams this year for the Padres. That's interesting.
Randy Vasquez and Logan Gillespie are coming to take their places. I hate this for the Padres. Hopefully these guys can do a good job filling in while Musgrove and Darvish. I think Darvish is a hamstring, and Musgrove is the right elbow inflammation. So we'll see how that goes. But that kind of leaves them with 3 legit starters that they want to count on. That's never good. when your depth gets tested like that, especially if it's two guys at the same time.
Yeah, it's
still hot in the pods.
No off days for them coming up either. Cease and King might really have to step up. Waldron's actually been pretty great for them, and Jeremiah Estrada is the best pitcher ever.
Yeah,
just ever play the game.
He strikes everyone out.
Royals comeback was pretty sick in that final game.
I actually need to do the Royals infield war too. I started to do that. The show started. I think they might be challenging the Dodgers in Baltimore as well, because they have those positions for them.
Michael,
pretty legit, yeah.
Our guy Vinny. Honestly, I think the only other thing I'd like to close a loop on here, Trev, is just Twins Astros. If you had anything you saw there, again, I feel like I've seen this Astros story in our document every time I open it up this year. Drop 2 out of 3. A lot of their guys play okay, but they lose the series.
It's kind of what it was. The second game, which they won, Yordan took it over, hit 2 homers off Joe Ryan, which to me is like, I was scared for Joe Ryan in that matchup. I don't know why. It just seems like that's not a great matchup for him, and it wasn't. But you're right. The Twins, they had an okay series, some timely homers, like Larnach in the first game hits a 2-run homer to put him up. Carlos Correa actually started the scoring, which I love, like thinking about Correa going back there. Pablo got him and shaved his beard down, which he kind of needed. He needed a different mojo for the Twins. He was looking for something to get him going, and I think it was his longest start of the year against them. So it's funny because you look at offensively, you look at the numbers, like they're like 5th or 6th in OPS, but it does seem like that's just kind of sporadic, not enough type of an offense when you're looking at them. It's like either Yordan's going, Tucker's going. Sometimes they line up all together, but yeah, it just hasn't really clicked for them. It was basically Framber and Yordan took over game 2, and that was it.
Yeah, Framber's stat line is great. Yordan, even Breggie's gotten it going lately. I don't know.
Like Hunter Brown's it's been really bad. Like I'm
dude, I think he's
to see why he hasn't been sent down.
I think he's had a couple decent starts lately. Like I think he's on an upward trend that it's not making a ton of sense. What do they got? They got St. Louis. Halos and the Giants road trip. 26-34 for the Houston Astros.
Yeah. What are they lately, though? I feel like they've been playing 500 ball over the last month.
I think they had one hot stretch.
I'm looking it up right now.
They had one hot stretch, and then that kind of ended. Let's see. Houston Analytics Department.
Yeah, in May they were 15-14.
Okay.
I feel like they've been playing 500-ish ball.
Right, but within that, they at one point they won 3, 4, 5.
Do you know what started this all off? Is your dang Yankees taking 4 from them in the beginning of the year?
Oops. They won 8 out of 9 in the middle start of May.
Yeah.
And then
Milwaukee, Oakland, Detroit.
Since then, they're back in a funk, man. So Big June can save a lot of teams, but it's been getting dark early for Houston. Sox, Tigers, I'm sorry, you split 4. Our guys, Jack Flaherty, Jamie Westbrook, fingerprints everywhere. We talked Torkelson.
Nice. Raphael, a 2-homer game.
Sox, they get their White Sox medicine coming up later this week, that if they can do something there, they can put themselves in a really good spot in the standings. They are 30-30 right now. They are they are who we thought they were. They're just doing it in a very different fashion. Tanner Houck getting Greg Maddux stats compared to him. That's where you want to be. In Cleveland, you guys are good that it's getting boring too, so enjoy it. We talked about your ballpark in T2. Let's do a little National League. And it's brought to you by Magic Spoon. Hello. An old friend of John Boy Media, and especially the John Boy himself. A favorite treat of his because, A, we've got some delicious flavors in that variety pack. The cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter.
Yum. Peanut butter is my favorite.
The reason it's a fave, 0 grams of sugar. You know Trev doesn't put that in his body. He can't.
I don't.
He can't. 13 to 14 grams of protein, only 140 calories per serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free. And the biggest thing with all of that, and this is where eyes turn back to Lil Poppy, it tastes good. That's what I'm looking for when I eat. So the perk that it's healthy, that's a nice. Go to magicspoon.com/baseball. Grab a variety pack. Check it out today. Use our promo code BASEBALL at checkout. Save $5 off your order. They've got a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it, they'll refund your money. Magicspoon.com/baseball. Use code BASEBALL. Save $5 and have a delicious snack. Trev, you raised your hand. My delicious snack.
Yes, the ultimate test for cereal. I do love Magic Spoon for myself, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm an adult and I'm trying to cut out sugar, all that stuff. My kids love it. If kids like it, that means it tastes good. They don't eat stuff that tastes bad. They just won't. Especially the quote unquote healthy stuff. This is very healthy and kids like it. So if you're looking to try to cut some sugar out in your kids' diets because that's what they want. Magic Spoon is a very, very good alternative to some of the stuff that you see on the shelves.
Jimmy likes to mix and match them. If you tweet him while you're assembling your variety pack and ask him what his combo is, he will reply probably because he loves talking about his combo there.
Update.
Okay.
I did Baltimore as the best infield in baseball at 11.5 WAR between catcher, first base, second base, shortstop, third base. I had the Dodgers at second with 11. The Kansas City Royals, and I need to maybe check this math again, 11.7, leading the big leagues in infield WAR right now.
I mean, part of me believes it. Part of me is scared of your
Sal Perez,
math.
3-0. First base, 2-7. Shortstop, 3-7. Third base, 1-8.
Salvi's got
Second
a
base,
3 WAR this year?
The catching position of the Royals. I'm sure he might have more.
I think he's been playing a good amount of first, but he is having a good year.
Trev, I think it's something you would like. Me and Beebs were giggling yesterday. Yuki Matsui versus Salvi.
Some camera angle stuff too, but he really looked half Salvi's size.
One of the fellas with the biggest presence in baseball versus an undersized pitcher, and yeah, it looked a little bit like an optical illusion, and tough times for Yuki. Sorry, pal.
Freddie Fermin, say his name.
Say his name. Freddie Fermin's a good ball player. National League. It's Friday, so we'll start with the National League. And we'll start with my favorite team in the National League, the New York Yankees. They swept the San Francisco Giants, Trev. And off the record, they made it hurt, Daddy. Aaron Judge against his former team. The arsonist has oddly shaped feet. Juan Soto, 2-homer game, including a 4-run comeback on the final day against Doval. It felt like your dad's New York Yankees. Powerful stuff. The Diamondbacks and the Mets split 4 in Flushings as the Mets won the first 2. What ended up being 1-run games. Zach Gallen leaves with injuries. We hate that. Monty is having a tough go. Lindor with a huge day at the office. Mark Vientos hitting for them. Okay, is he part of our future? Christian Walker's been part of the future. He homers. Ketel Marte with 2 homers as the Snakes win the final 2 games in Queens. The Cincinnati Reds take 2 out of 3 from the Chicago Cubs. They win the bread games. Man, our guy Ian Happ has picked it up, but the Cubs are struggling. They didn't win a series in May. Seiya Suzuki had an emotional second game, dropped a pop-up that led to 3 runs, but then he hit a grand slam. Net, +1, Seiya. Cincy wins on the final game. TJ Friedel is back for them. He's an important cog on that team. Reds win another series. Cubs have lost 9 out of 11. It's getting dark in Chi-Town. Although Caleb Williams took some swings off a tee. There you go. Phillies, they take 2 out of 3 from the St. Louis Cardinals in that infield. A top 5 WAR infield. It keeps moving down every time Trev looks up a different team. But Bryce Harper, Edmundo Sosa filling in for Trey Turner. Spencer Turnbull, another good outing. Is he going to sub in for Taijuan Walker, who got knocked around a little bit in the only game they lost? Gorman and Burleson. God, meaty fellas. They send a pair out. Phillies, they win. Dodgers take 2 out of 3 from the Rocks after dropping the first game. Good for you, Dakota Hudson. 7 innings, 1 earned. Zeke Tovar, big game at the office. But Yoshinobu Yamamoto, along with a final day, Gavin Stone, warehouse adjacent. Oh, and Freddie and Mookie homered in the first inning for the Dodgers to win that series. The Hotlanta Braves take 2 out of 3 from Oakland. Ronaldo Lopez continues to push for one of the best pitchers in baseball this season. The guy who was probably the best pitcher in May, Chris Sale, got knocked around. 8 earnies. Your Oakland Athletics. Max Schumann. Yep. Miguel Andujar. Makes it flinch a little bit. Charlie Morton salts him away on that final day with Ozuna. Good on-base streak for him and Sean Murphy. The Brewers sweep the White Sox, and of course they start a fight. Christian Yelich, 5-hit day in Game 1. Contreras, Frelick, and Terang with 3. Like, these guys bang. Willie Adames with a walk-off in Game 2 in the 10th. Sure. Jackson Chiriot homer. Note that down. Will he start to go? And Tommy Pham's ready to fight the world. He ain't gonna start it. He'll finish it. His words, not mine. It's awesome. And the Texas Rangers, they take 2 out of 3 after dropping Game 1 to the Marlins. Jesus Sanchez and Jake Berger. Otherwise, it was Michael Lorenzen and Andrew Heaney with big starts, along with Adolis Garcia, a big home run in that second game. Robbie Grossman is back and doing it. That's Rangers baseball, and that is what happened in the beautiful National League. Wait. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just doing more research.
Okay. But you have the standings ready.
I have the standings right here. They're ready to go. And it's because it's Friday, we do the American League second.
We do Interleague first.
The Milwaukee Brewers have a 10.4 infield WAR. So they're up there too, above the Phillies. Anyways, in the National League, I think we're going to start today in the East. I like the East. The Phillies, 41-19, 6.5 games up on those Braves, who are 33-24. The Nationals, like everyone thought, third place in the NL East, 27-31. The Mets, 24-35, 16.5 games back. They can make a move. The Marlins, 21-39, 20 games back of the division lead. In the Central, the dang Brew Crew, man. The dang Brew Crew. The guys, they just want to fight. How many teams have they cleared with? 4, 5 already?
4's the safe number.
I think it's 4. It could be 5. The bad boys of baseball. They're leading the NL Central 36-23. The only team above 500 in that division. The Cardinals in second place, 7 games back. They're 28-29. The Cubs, as you mentioned, haven't won a series. Didn't win a series in May. We'll talk about them in a little bit. 29-31. They're 7.5 games back. The Pittsburgh Pirates, 27-32, 9 games back. And the Cincinnati Reds at 26-33. Man, there's a lot of promise on that team, and they're breaking the promise. In the West, those LA Dodgers still with a stranglehold. Ted Nugent wrote that song. 38-23. They're leading the division by 6.5 games. The Padres, 32-30. I got a follow from Salty Crew. Is that something we're working on? It's like a San Diego-based brand. They're doing Padres stuff. Anyways,
Maybe.
they're 32-30. The Giants 29-31, 2 games under 500. Snakes 27-32, and Colorado 21-37. And those are the standings in the National League.
Simply marvelous.
Always.
There's no other way to label it. I want to keep prefacing this in the National League as, the Blue Jays are drawing the ire of these trade rumors and what was supposed to be last place, 2 games under 500. Just a reminder for your National League wild card right now, if the playoffs started today, the Cardinals would be in at 28-29. So if you're a National League team that's basically not the Marlins, Rockies, or the Mets, I think, your season's alive, which hopefully leads to a fun National League second half and not a National League second half. But time will tell with that. Trevor, let's rip the Band-Aid with, I guess you could say the best team in baseball, the New York Yankees. I don't want to say it's not. This was baseball's version. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Aaron Judge with 3 home runs in Oracle Park. That ties Thairo Estrada and Yastrzemski for most home runs in Oracle Park this season. Juan Soto against Doval, 2-homer day. The way he pimped it and treats it. Yanks are feeling good.
Special brand of baseball, and Judge looked great. His swing is so pure right now. Everything's working. He's so connected. When you watch him, clearly he's one of the better hitters we're going to see in our generation. But there's a difference between when you see a guy locked in and then when you see a guy kind of just weathering the storm or feeling regular at the plate. Aaron Judge is not feeling regular at the plate right now. He's seeing everything. And the people he did it against, Jordan Hicks and Logan Webb, they were no doubters, man. Just off the bat, see you later. He looks phenomenal. And when you get those guys kind of all going together, and really it's Judge and Soto, but if you add Stanton in the mix a little bit there, that's very difficult to navigate. For pitchers, and I do love, doing it against a closer, and you guys look good. And this was a litmus test for the Giants, who had been playing really good ball. And when the Yankees come into town, you want to beat them anyway because it's just the Yankees. You hear about them growing up. It's just one of those franchises. You guys know that. But when it's also the team that's playing, they're playing great ball. You're playing great ball. You got him at home. It's okay, let's see what we're made of. And then you go ahead and get swept, man. Your offense doesn't really show up. Give up some homers. You lose a game late. It's got to be, it was a little bit humbling for the San Francisco Giants over the weekend.
Snell leaves with an injury in that final game, which he's been having a real tough go with it. Just some final taste. The Yankees, Stroman has been on a heater recently. Anthony Volpe, the kid, has taken a leap on Trevor. He's hitting in front of Soto and Judge, which, yes, you can mark.
That helps.
Pretty damn nice. A little bit of pressure, man. If that's a very important spot for the Yankees. And he's put it
for a young guy. Yes, I will say yes, pressure, but it's probably the best place in the big leagues to hit right now.
Well, I think he's simplified his approach too. I think it's, hey, get on for these guys. They'll do the rest. And No's been hitting cleanup for the Yankees for the past month or two. Alex Verdugo. So kind of breaking up Stanton and Judge in a different at-bat. He's been fantastic.
Had a big swing.
Oh, yeah. Big double in that final game. Jason Dominguez is rehabbing. Cole is doing a rehab start Tuesday, Trev. Watch out.
We're going to see. Because you got the Mighty Twins coming into town.
Twins-Dodgers this week. Twins-Dodgers. Going to be a fun week in the Boogie Down Bronx. Glad we talked National League Yankees. I guess we kind of already did Brewers fight, and I don't know how much there is to add.
We didn't do Brewers fight. I want to talk about
the fact Tommy Pham's involved is incredible, and his quotes are so opposite of a human as me. And again, probably more importantly, with the Cubs fading, The National League Central is Milwaukee's till further notice, 7 games up on the second place Cardinals.
Did I not hit this on the head? As soon as they traded Corbin Burns, I tweeted out, this team is going to be better than they were with Corbin Burns. It's just what they do. Credit to their organization for, Joey Ortiz has been great. They're finding guys. The William Contreras trade is going to go down in history as like the biggest fucking, like what happened there? What happened there? But they're going. I'm going to talk Christian Yelich in a little bit. Who did they trade Willy Adames? Who did they get Willy Adames for?
Ooh, I remember that being
was it like JP Fireeisen or something like that?
It was at least Fireeisen.
I think there was another player that got involved too that was like, okay, this wasn't a straight destruction, but yeah,
Rasmussen,
man.
Drew Rasmussen, who was pitching really good for a little bit before he got hurt.
Anyways,
but the Brewers,
great job by the Brewers.
They grow pitchers on trees, so take Drew Rasmussen.
They had 23 fucking hits, dude, in that first game. 23 hits.
Yeah,
that's insane. In the first game they were trailing 4-5 in the 7th inning. Inning over, they're winning 10-5. That's White Sox ball, so we don't really need to go into the games. Like, they took care of business. Walk off in game 2, and then we have the whole Tommy Pham situation, which is interesting to me because we're at this point in baseball now where, like, we're trying to just take injuries out of the game as much as possible. Other sports do this too. Football has changed radically in the way that they approach injuries and plays. They're trying to get rid of all the plays that could hurt people, essentially. What they're doing with the kickoff this year is crazy. They protect the quarterback like, you can't, as a defender, it's very difficult right now in football, but also in baseball at the plate. We're just really, I think we've gone too far with these catchers. Like, there's like basically like zero contact on the base pass. There's like zero contact. Like, we've gone a little too far. I want everyone to be healthy. I still want some baseball plays. This one was interesting because Tommy Pham is gunned out at the plate by, I don't know how, like 20 feet. Slides into Contreras. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. Tags him out. Contreras is kind of like pumped up, kind of like looks in Pham's direction, in the White Sox bench direction, does a little bit of like a whatever. I guess he was talking a little bit too. Pham doesn't like that. And then the bench is clear. Pham has the quotes after the game, which you already said. When I looked back at the play, I was kind of like on Pham's side. I was like, hey, what, why are you talking? He was gunned out by 20 feet. Just go back in the dugout, whatever. It's the White Sox. You're in first place. This isn't that big of a deal. Like, I want you to be fired up, but like, I was like, if I'm Pham too, I'd be like, what are you doing, man? I would react the same way. And then I saw the angle of where Pham was running.
Yeah.
Contreras gave him the entire base to slide in because he was, first of all, out by 1,000,000 feet. But Pham was, 3 feet on the grass looking for contact. And it's not like he went in there and barreled him, but like, what are you doing running that far, inside of the foul line for? Like, I don't understand what he was trying to do there. So now I'm like, this whole situation was silly to me. He didn't need to be doing that.
I think I've got the solution. If you got a second, go look up Tommy Pham's quotes. He kind of throws the third base coach under the bus.
Where is he going right there?
Into the catcher. That's it.
So now that's what I'm saying. Now I understand why Contreras was like, gave him a little bit.
Yeah. Like, what was
he went out of his way to make contact with the catcher.
Trev, I don't think it's a need for the Brewers at all. Trade deadline, Tommy Pham to Milwaukee. They've got everyone who starts fights bringing the guy who finishes it.
No, they don't need that. They don't need that. They just need to draw a little bit. They're no punches. Although they've already thrown punches this year. So I don't know.
I don't know.
They've already thrown punches. Yeah, I don't get it. Have we found the amount of teams they've fought this year?
Trev, clickbait. Is the Central done?
Well, we're gonna listen to Tommy Pham right now.
We can't.
Looks like Beavers was ready
right now.
Unbelievable. Is the Central done? It's going to take a lot, Pop. The Cubs offense has just been atrocious. They have not been able to get it going at all. So like unless something crazy changes, they go on some incredible run, which they could. But I just don't see Milwaukee slowing down. That's the problem.
Right.
So these other two teams could get going. The Cardinals could get going. The Cubs could get going. Even the Pirates, if they like decide, hey, we just want to go all in and buy some offense, like they could get going a little bit with the pitching that they have. But I don't see the Brewers slowing down. They play the game well on all sides of the ball. So like even if their offense slows down, well, the pitching's still good. Bullpen's still good. Defense is still good. For them to fall apart all together at one time, I don't see that happening. Like Pat Murphy's got him going, doesn't he? He's got these boys playing feisty ball. Never in a million years would they be like this under Craig Counsell. And I'm actually saying the truth here. I'm not being facetious. I know it kind of seems like I am, but I believe with Pat at the helm and a little bit of Reese in the locker room, it's more of a F you to everybody. You know how those guys talk, and you know how like the attitude is. Reese isn't like necessarily that bad or like that much like in your face kind of guy. He's like a gentle giant, but he's not gonna take any crap. And I think that's like their MO right now. Like we're not taking any crap. And now that it's like they got a taste for it.
Yeah, they got a
So to answer your question, I think it is done.
It's hard to picture them slowing down. Like you can picture the Cardinals finally clicking dude, call me an idiot. I'm holding on to the littlest bit of red stock right now because they've won a couple games and they're getting people back.
That hole is big.
But the hole's big, and it's hard to picture Milwaukee. It's hard to picture them being bad. Like you can picture them having a 500 month or whatever. It's hard to picture them having the real bad month that could bring one of those other teams into it. So, I don't know.
They're 7 games up on the Cardinals right now. They're 10 games up on the Reds. I mean, if you're talking about can it get close to like 4 games, sure, obviously that's one series. But over the rest of the year, like I said, they just do too many things well across the diamond. I mean, I'm very curious what their schedule results are. Looking it up right now. They were 15-11 in April, 16-12 in May. They're starting off 2-0 in June. Like they're playing just consistently good baseball.
They're about to tee up 3 with the Phillies. That should be fun. Reese returns. So that's a fight. That's a fight.
It sounds like a fight.
God damn it.
Reese is going to get absolutely cheered for.
Oh, yeah.
In Philly.
Beloved figure.
And then he'll get booed. Like both. I think he's going to get booed. Like cheered, then booed.
Yes. Homer's first game gets booed later on. Trevi Pie, I don't know. We've got a 4-game split. Mets and Snakes both searching, although the Mets probably aren't. I mean, the Cubs are kind of a topic here in general.
There's some bad stats on the Cubs, man.
Hit me.
Like you mentioned, they did not win a series in May. Last 34 games, 3.4 runs per game. They're 12-22. Like you can't score 3 runs a game, even though their pitching's actually been pretty good. The bullpen's blown some leads. The starting pitching's been okay. You got to hit. And at the beginning of the season, it was a lot of, okay, well, we're missing some guys. Belly's out. This guy's out. Like they're a fully healthy team now. Like it's now or never for them, and it still hasn't clicked. I think the biggest thing, I mean, if you're just looking for one thing to point at, it's you got to start hitting the ball. Like they don't get enough hits. Like the batting average isn't there. They're not scoring enough runs. Like so they're like some teams can get away with a low batting average because they're slugging or the runners in scoring position is great. Like they're just not getting anything offensively like that. They've run into some outs on the base pass. I mean, you saw the Ellie De La Cruz throw right there. That was in the 9th inning, bad send. You can't give up extra outs. Like the defense, I believe, is one of the worst in all of baseball, which is crazy. Yeah, so Fangraphs has them at 28th in baseball as a team defensively. That's not what you expect from that team, right? You got a Gold Glover, Ian Happ in left field. You got does Belly won a Platinum Glove?
Ooh,
he's at least won a Gold
yes.
Glove in center field. You know, like they have guys that could do it all around the diamond, but it just has not happened this year. You know, Neris, you know, I don't know. Neris and Albert Azalea, like they've blown some saves. Like it's been kind of all over the roster for the Cubs. And I think that's what's got to hit you as a Cubs fan. It hasn't just been one thing. It's been like a bunch of different things that have really put you in this position that you're in now.
It's gut check time a little bit. Like they were already, you know, they got off to a pretty good start, and it was like, oh yeah, these Cubs, they've made some moves. They've got young guys on the way. 29-31. They got 2 with the White Sox, so that can help you out. And then a fun 4-gamer in Cincinnati. I'll tune into that. Only other thing I think I want to note in the National League for now, Trev, and BBD maybe dock this. I want to see where my Diamondbacks are come, let's say, June 16th. The Mets, especially at Citi Field, has been a house of horrors for them. They host the Giants. They're playing 4 against the Padres, who, again, could be a different version of the Padres. And then it's Halos and White Sox. So the Diamondbacks, who have kind of been looking for their juice and their rhythm, if they can put together a good 2.5 weeks, like I talked about with the National League, June 16th, the Diamondbacks will be technically in the playoffs.
Okay.
Let's see. Anything else you want in the NL, Trev? I know we've got some stuff later.
No, that's good.
A lot of good teams beat bad teams. Shout out Phillies, Braves, Texas Rangers. Let's
a couple
head
former
over.
Angels pitchers taking care of business for the Rangers, Lorenzen and Heaney. Attaboy.
Oh. Standout performances are brought to you by Tommy John. I think the people at Tommy John, they've realized it's not a gag from me. I wear them every day. I will be showing the people on YouTube my underwear in 1 second. I wear Tommy John underwear every way. On the read here, they just said, riff about what you like. And it's everything. It's everything. I wear them every day. The most comfortable underwear I own. They've got like a little adult side. I feel a little sexy in them. I feel like if we went around the office and all the fellas showed their boxers, I feel like I would be top tier. There'd be a couple of these young kids. It'd be tighten it up. Be better. Get yourself some Tommy John.
When you're young, that's difficult.
Like whatever Jack Doyle's wearing. God,
I don't want to see that. No,
it's awful.
The sock reveals have to be a tell.
There's holes. Get 20% off site-wide right now at TommyJohn.com/talkin. 20% off. TommyJohn.com/talkin. There's a link in the description. Fellas, this is like a big life step for you. It's a big upgrade. Take the thought out of it. Don't play the bad boxer games. Get yourself some Tommy John. Trev, where are you going with your standout?
I'm just getting it up right now for you. I'm going Christian Yelich.
Sure.
And I'm getting the video up, Beavers, BBD. On Friday, he went 5 for 6, 2 doubles, 5 runs driven in. He's an absolute menace. He's been great this year. And the reason I wanted to highlight him, not only because he's, having a great year, 408 on base percentage, by the way, 957 OPS this year.
323 batting average. He's doing all of it.
The swing on this double, I'm going to get it up. Hopefully everyone can see it. Check this thing out. This is a Jimmy O'Brien blitz ball. This is, if everyone remembers when Joe's McFly hit the walk-off homer against Jimmy O'Brien. I don't know what, blitzball 3, I think that was. Same swing. Beavers has got it on the big screen for us. Get that, dude.
300
When things are going right,
Yeah.
they're going right. That's incredible. They slow it down. He check swings on like a slider away, 3-2 count, putting the ball in play. Beautiful. This thing bounces I think it almost looks like it's like foul, and then it lands on the line of the third base line. It's absolutely incredible. But again, he's just gone off. Another reason we always say with the Brewers, Yelich has got to go. He's got to play like he's getting paid to play. And this year, clearly, he's feeling good. The numbers support that. And yeah, man, a 5-for-6 night with 5 runs driven in, even though it's against the White Sox, you got to give love to that.
171 OPS plus on the year. Yelly's been killing it. I'm glad you took him because I thought about him. Those season numbers.
8 stolen bases.
He was Kyle Tucker before Kyle Tucker. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Kyle Tucker. You think Kyle Tucker's going to get as much money as he got?
More.
215 mil?
You know, I've been on the Kyle Tucker's getting crazy paid train.
215?
Yes, dude.
I mean, bro, that's like 7 for 30 a year. Kyle Tucker's getting that?
Yes.
I want him to. I'm just saying. Fuck.
Kyle Tucker.
That was that pre-pandemic money for Yelich.
Every Kyle Tucker number currently this season is better than the Yelich ones we just went nuts about. And Kyle Tucker's 27, not 31.
Yankees, pay the man.
Abe Lincoln,
He never tells a lie.
Couldn't if he wanted to.
You think he's got a secret collection of top hats? He just goes and looks at himself in the mirror and then puts it away. Doesn't want anyone to know about it. He's like, those motherfuckers, I'm talking baseball. How do they know?
How do they know about me? Yes, I want to believe that. And he has the same birthday as my sister, so I feel closer to King Tuck now. Congrats on Yelich for that. Trev, there was a lot of fun options this week. My guy Ketel Marte with 2 homers. Go look at his WAR on the season. Oh, now you need to do Diamondbacks infield WAR.
No, I don't.
Miguel Andujar, my guy, is back, killing it. I'm happy for him. One of the more fun seasons in Yankee history. Pitchers, get out of my face for now. I'm going with Ryan Mountcastle. Famously, his wife's bachelorette was at the same time in Key West as mine. A couple players' wives linking up. Ryan Mountcastle, I've always liked him because he can hit.
You guys both went on your wives' bachelorette parties.
We didn't attend. They were there. They were both in Key West for their bachelorettes. Okay. They met up. I don't know if it was a bar, a gentleman, like dancers. I don't know.
At some venue during.
But I think there was a lot of baseball logos, and they crossed horns and were
so you and Ryan weren't there?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Pictures of us. Ryan Mountcastle this season. 291, 330, and 828 OPS plus. Okay. That's good. He had a not the most impressive May. I think his OPS was in 754. He comes out of June with a 2-homer game. He mauls lefties. That's always been his signature. He's a 927 OPS versus lefties. So whenever they get that matchup, you basically get like an elite all-star level player. Against righties this year, a 788 OPS. He's a guy that kind of came up during the final bad Orioles times. Gets called up 2020. Gets some Rookie of the Year votes. He can hit. He's 27 years old. He's been a key cog in the middle of that lineup. The him and Ryan O'Hearn platoon, when they're right, is kind of disgusting. But what I've liked about him, every year it's a positive OPS plus. So, you're going to have ups and downs in this game, but if you always end up above that waterline, that means you're really good. So Ryan Mountcastle getting some love as the Orioles, again, where they are in the standings this year is where you'd think. And it hasn't felt like they've had everything go right besides Gunnar being one of the best players.
I love the fact that you brought up he was, pre-Orioles good. He's still a mainstay on the team, obviously. Part of that vaunted Baltimore infield. Yeah, it's good to give a guy like that love, and I love the connection that you two share. It's a beautiful connection because I love love.
140 OPS plus.
And he's blonde, isn't he?
I can't
dirty?
tell. It's definitely dirty. Ryan Mountcastle hair.
He looks like a blondie. He's, got the blue eyes.
He's got blonde energy. It looks like it's brown hair. But it's
I bet he was
dirty.
blonde when he was a kid. Ryan Mountcastle's
Definitely a
mom,
blonde
if you're listening
baby.
to the show,
Yeah.
send us a picture. I guarantee he's blonde as a kid.
1000% a blonde baby. Trev, this is the list you want.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
Well, isn't this a coincidence? For the series, I'm going to start with Ryan Mountcastle because he went 5 for 12, 417 average in that time, a double, 2 homers, 4 runs driven in. You mentioned that for the 1.46. We also talked about Aaron Judge, who went 6 for 10, 3 homers, 6 runs driven in, 5 runs scored, 3 walks, 2 stolen bases in the series against San Francisco. He became the first Yankee in history to have 14 homers and 12 doubles in a month. His May numbers, they don't look real. They look absolutely fake. Like he almost like 2-dot it in May or something like that.
I saw this, shout out to MLB Network. In his last 28 games, Judge has a 1.5 plus OPS. That's only happened like 5 other times, and it's like Harper, Barry Bonds. It's big boys. The other
Is Bryce
name,
Harper underrated?
the other name that stood out on the list, Lance Berkman. Lance Berkman put together 28 games.
Big
Really
Puma?
Big Puma. What'd you call me?
I like that. Go Judge. Man.
Yeah, special.
When he came up, they put the judge's corner his rookie year. I was like, what are you guys doing to this kid? That's unfair to him.
The Yankees
Turns
don't
out
do
they were
that.
right.
They were right.
Arizona relief pitcher Justin Martinez. He pitched in 2 games in the series, but he pitched 5 innings in those 2 games. 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 5 Ks. That was the 4-game set against the Mets. He threw a career-high 3 scoreless innings pitching his first game pitching in front of his parents live on Thursday. So he had a little parents juice. I like that. And this season, he's been crushing it, Jake. Do you know? 20 2/3 innings pitched, a .44 ERA, only 1 extra base hit. That's fucking nice. 24 Ks. So be on the lookout for a little Justin Martinez. As Jake says, the Snakes will be in playoff contention come June. What did you say? June
I
what?
think it's the 16th.
16th.
Angels,
June
White
16th.
Sox.
I
It's
set a
Father's Day, by
calendar
the way.
alert for us.
That is Father's Day. We're doing a Talkin'
Yeah.
Yanks event. Jersey Shore. See you there.
For the week, Alex Bregman goes 10 for 28, a double, a triple, 4 home runs, 7 runs driven in for the 1.5. Miguel Andujar, former Yankee legend, Oakland's left fielder, 10 for 25, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 10 runs driven in, 6 runs scored. His 12 RBI are the most by a player through their first 7 games with the A's since, this is a blast from the past, Jack Cust. 2007. It's like Jack Cust and the one guy that went off because he changed his shoe size. His shoes were too small his whole life. And he's like, I finally put shoes on that fit me, and he went off. It was a guy for the Rangers. I forget who it was.
I kind of remember that. I'll see what I can get.
Okay, thanks. Also, Gavin Stone, 2 games pitched, 12 innings in those 2 games, 7 hits, no earned runs, 13 Ks. He's allowed 1 run or fewer in 6 of 7 starts since April 26. He's 5-1 and has a 1.64 during that span. And Aaron Judge should have been on this
Yes.
list. We said what his stats were in all of May. But for 2 weeks, another Yankee outfielder, Juan Soto, 18 for 50 for a 360 average, 2 doubles, 2 triples, 6 homers, 16 runs driven in, 13 runs scored, 8 walks for the 1.2. Nolan Gorman. Hitting the long ball, doing his thing. 11 for 35 in these 2 weeks. 2 doubles, 4 homers, 10 runs driven in, 4 walks, 9 runs scored. He recorded his 7th homer in his past 18 games during Sunday's game and has a team best 11 homers this season for the Cardinals. That's nice out of your second baseman. And then also to end this, how about Cincinnati reliever Fernando Cruz? He pitched in 6 games, 3 holds, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 walks, but 14 Ks in those 7 innings. We mentioned Estrada down in San Diego.
Yeah.
He probably should be on this list as well.
Yeah.
But I think Dalton doesn't like Padres because he's a Snakes fan.
Oh, rumor mill.
Calling him out. And that's who's been in Fuego.
Marvelous work per usual. Trev, sure. Fernando Cruz, Alexis Diaz on that Reds back end. Their rotation looks like they want it to look like. TJ Friedel is back. Kind of now or never for my Reds. Colorado and the Cubbies, why not? Trev, fantastic stuff. It does. Our best segment of the show leads to our worst segment of the show. The IL update. And Snakes fans are probably yelling at me through however they're listening, because Zach Gallen goes on the IL. So that rotation for the Snakes that we really liked before the year. Right now, Gallen, Kelly, and Erod on the IL. So that's not what they wanted. Alek Manoah for Toronto. He ends up on the IL. Darvish and Musgrove. We talked about that. Nootbaar for St. Louis. Lucas Urseg, who's been really good for Oakland. Jordan Romano for Toronto. Spire, Benintendi, Vaughn Grissom.
Sheesh.
My God. Sixto Sanchez, Michael Waka. It's a big one this week. Don't like. Guys who came back, Rhys Hoskins, love. Stephen Kwan, love. Evan Phillips, who's been incredible this season. Him and Blake Trinan on the back end. They're ending games early, which is just what that team needs. Cookie Carrasco came back. Luis Funky Cold Medina. Drew Smith and Justin Wilson, couple pen arms are back. With that, let's start everyone's week.
Awards!
Shout out, Kels. Okay, I told you guys before my award was going to be Davis the Ball Knower Award. I was going to talk about the Phillies infield, and wow, man, like they're really going off. They're probably one of the best infields in baseball, and they are one of. But then I found the Royals are doing it better. The Orioles are doing it better. The Dodgers are doing it better. I think maybe even the Brewers are doing it better. So I changed my award as I started doing the research on it. I am going to stick with the Phillies theme, and I'm going to call this the Life Finds a Way award. Now, if you've ever watched Jurassic Park, that's a famous quote from that movie, Life Finds a Way, because I believe they're trying to make all the dinosaurs female, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah,
and then like they find a way to like reproduce and
Right.
like what's going on? Like life finds a way.
Which if you were going to do that, wouldn't you make them all males? Because like
it's a good point.
ladies have a history of...
That's a good
I
point.
don't
They
know.
messed that up. And everyone gets eaten by
were they trying to
velociraptors
breed?
and like T-Rexes.
Do they
T-Rex.
have
And
males on hand?
who really wins in that fight? I think velociraptors win the fight, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just too
Just
quick
no
and too
need.
fast. Big tree fall hard. Anyways, so Trey Turner, do you guys know who that is?
Yeah. He's my friend.
He's quite the ball player. He's quite the ball player. He plays shortstop for the Philadelphia Phillies. He's probably my favorite player in all of baseball to watch. I think he was Bobby Witt Jr. before Bobby Witt Jr. was Bobby Witt Jr. That makes sense. I just like rangy, athletic shortstops that can run. We all know the Trey Turner slide. Well, he was having a really, really good start to the year. 852 OPS. He ended up getting hurt at the end of April. And it's like, dang, man. Like, what are we going to do? Oh, well, we traded for this guy, Edmundo Sosa. Edmundo Sosa starts playing shortstop at the beginning of May, end of April. Do you know what his line has been since he's been the everyday shortstop there?
I've got a guess, but no.
306, 375 OBP, 597 slug for the 972 OPS at shortstop. Now, that's awesome. So snaps for Edmundo Sosa, coming in, filling in for, a guy they paid a lot of money to play shortstop and performing admirably on the second best team now by half a game in baseball. But big bad Trey Turner's ready to come off the IL. What's going to happen? Edmundo, you got to continue to play short, right? You're going up. Well, no, you paid this guy a lot of money. Trey is going to be the shortstop. Yeah. Some people were saying, oh, could Trey go to the outfield? Could put him out there. No. So what's going to happen with Edmundo Sosa? It was a lot of fun banter, I guess, going on. Kevin Long came out and said that everyone was making fun of Trey, saying he got Wally pipped, which is like the best joke in the locker room. When you take a sick day or you get benched and the guy that comes in for you plays well, Wally pip, love it. It's a classic clubhouse joke. So they've been talking to Trey about that. Bro, you're not going to get your spot back. Edmundo Sosa is going to be your guy. But there really was going to be a roster crunch. Don't know where this guy is going to play. Like, it seems like, Rojas in center field. You got Marsh playing really well in left field. You got Castellanos playing really well in right field. What are you going to do? Well, life finds a way. Unfortunately, Brandon Marsh ends up coming out of the game. He's hurt. And I think this is all going to get cleared up. And they asked Topper, Rob Thompson, the manager of the Phillies, would you consider putting Edmundo Sosa in the outfield? He had some time there, I believe, in 2023. They were thinking about doing that. And he said, dude, it's hard to get this guy out of the lineup with the way he's swinging the bat. Life finds a way. And I'm happy for Sosa. I believe he's going to, well, I know he's going to still going to get consistent at bats. And there are times where a guy like this might not continue to get those consistent at bats. Then you're like, dude, I'm on this heater. Please don't take me out of lineup. Please don't play me every other day or every 3 days or pinch hit. Like, that's not what I want to do. I want to play every day. Life finds a way. Edmundo Sosa, who's been so good from Panama, baby. Born in Panama. Is that Panama City?
I'd assume so, but again, like,
it doesn't say that. It just says Panama. Love that for him. He's going to continue to play every day, and he's just been so good. I wanted to highlight him and what he's been doing, and the fact that, unfortunately for Marsh, obviously, he's going to be out, and I believe because of that, Edmundo is going to continue to play, and Trey's going to go back to his regular spot, and all is good in Philadelphia. And they got him for Jojo Romero, who's been really good for the Cardinals as well. But a nice little swap for those two teams. And I love swap.
I know you love swap. That's a story that we'll tell in the books later. Yeah, we talk a lot about playing time and opportunity, and if you're not one of those main guys, how tough it can be. And even playing in 104 games last year for Edmundo Sosa, it's good. It also can be tough because you're not getting regular reps, and some of those you're getting subbed in later. Good for him, man. Taking advantage of an opportunity. And yeah, like you said, Jojo Romero's been gross for St. Louis. I think you usually lean position player over bullpen guy. But life finding a way, setting a tone. How often have we oozed about Bryce Harper on this show? And guess what he did last year? I'll play some first base. Screw it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it does get to a funky spot where Edmundo go out there. Trey, maybe for a game or two. Probably not. There's a big investment there.
Yeah. The guy with leg problems you don't want out in the outfield. But there's talks about, is Bryce going to go back? Is Bohm going to go to first base and Edmundo go play third, which he played a lot last year? A lot of talks, and it was like, what's going to happen? Roster crunch time. And then, life finds a way. 3.2 WAR from the shortstop position for the Phillies is fourth in the big leagues. Kansas City, 3.7. Baltimore, 3.7. And then the Dodgers, Mookie Betts.
Trey Turner, a little center field his rookie year. Crazier things. Mookie Betts is the best shortstop in baseball. It's all good problems in Philly right now, man. Winning cures everything. I mentioned the Taiwan Walker Turnbull situation. We'll see if that happens. We mentioned the 3 versus Milwaukee, and then they're heading to London for the 2-gamer with the Mets. So interesting little stretch for your Phil.
I think Trey is still like a week away or something like that. Interestingly enough, nobody in our position units drafted the Baltimore or the Kansas City infield.
We knew Baltimore something was amiss. We knew that.
The infields taken were the Dodgers, me, the Braves, BBD, the Rangers, Jake, and the Astros, Jimmy.
A lot of ball left.
A lot of ball left.
That's what they're saying in
Only
Houston.
4 can get taken.
Trev, great award. I'm giving out the same but different award. And I touched on this at the top. Been saying that Seattle feels like the same Seattle team, and that team hadn't done much for me. And we've had a funny relationship with Seattle in this program. You were enemy number 1 for a while. You buried them, and they resurrected themselves. Jesus walks.
Jon Snow.
Kanye. We're watching Game of Thrones for the first time. Jess isn't going to listen to this. We just finished season 5. Spoiler. Jon Snow.
Which one's season 5?
Jon Snow dies at the end. Night Watch kills him. So it's so funny that if you've watched, you know what happens. But Jess is like, wow, so he's dead? And I'm like, yeah, he's dead. But anyways, the Seattle Mariners, your starting pitching is good. We've almost penalized you for that up until this point because we want to see more from the hitting. Brian Woo Woo is back, and he is nasty. This rotation did not give up a run. Yes, it's the Angels. 19 innings pitched, 8 hits, 0 runs. It's the first time in franchise history the Mariners starting pitching did not allow a run in a 3-game set. That's pretty nuts, man. There's been some good Seattle teams. There's been some special arms. Randy Johnson pitched there for a minute. You know I'm an Aaron Seeley guy. That's kind of not true.
Oh, yes.
Aaron Seeley in today's baseball would either be good Kyle Hendricks, or just the purest form of meat. I'm sorry, Aaron Seeley. That velo doesn't play anymore. Anyways, Mariners, you're creating some space in the division. I can view the lack of hitting as a room for growth area. The pitching is so gross that even though I've got my hitting binder and you fired your offensive coordinator, I'm going to view it as a good thing. I like the way that city rallies around that team. I like that team, man. Like Julio and J.P. Crawford, there's a final out to end the inning, and they just started like punching each other and being dudes, acting like us in the warehouse. I want to root for Seattle. I need to see some more hits. And Julio's starting to go, and maybe 1 or 2 other guys click, and maybe there's something at the deadline that could bring me all in. So Seattle, a bit of an apology for now, but I'm all in. And Mariners history, no runs allowed by their starting pitchers, Wu, Miller, and Castillo. And by the way, Kirby and Gilbert, those guys are incredible too. So love for the Northwest.
I could just like sit around and name old baseball players forever. Like Aaron Seeley, that was a really, really good one.
You like that
for you right there. I did a lot. And look, Seattle, we have a great relationship. I don't know what you're talking about. It was I was pumping the boys up. They are who we thought they were, or I thought they were. And I agree. Like it's so close for them, Jake. I think it's so close for them to join. I'm not going to say the elite teams of baseball, but like that first tier right under them.
You can. Like,
if they make the right moves, this team, if they make the right moves and like the offense gets hot, this team could win the World Series. Like it's not like that's not hyperbole. That's not far-fetched. Like the way they throw the ball, if they, with this squad, just go on a heater and catch fire offensively, that's all they need. If they add people to fortify the offense, to lengthen it, like this team could win the World Series. So I'm just putting that out there right now. Kevin Mensch was the guy that I was looking for. He'd worn a size 12 shoe. Since his teenage years, he found out I'm actually a 12 and a half. Changed his shoe size. And in April of 2026, not 2026, that's happened.
That's upcoming.
This is a prediction.
Yeah, AI.
In 2006, just 20 years off, he went through a little 9-game set where he hit 7 homers, had 20 runs driven in, hit 417. In that April, he batted 342 for the 1.025. But yeah, it just changed his shoe size. It was all downhill from there. But Kevin Mensch.
It's a big fantasy ad for me that year. Big head, big feet. You know what they say.
The guy was from Delaware. Him and Joe Biden.
Udell. It's always political.
Boys.
Always political with you.
Nickname was Shrek. He looks like Shrek. Holy shnikey. Wow.
Trev, I'm excited to see you. Interested to hear your plans. And interested to hear about Arena Club. If you haven't seen, they are dropping their slab packs tomorrow, June 4th. If you're in the card game, you probably already know about these guys. If you're not, get into it. Arena Club, and they've got some big hitters in these packs. I think there's some special Freddie and Judge cards in the mix, and they're going to sell out. That's when you know a product's good. They're going to sell out. So June 4th, 1 p.m. Eastern. If you're in the card game, you already know about this. I'll stop talking. If you're not, Arena Club, go check it out. Some of these cards are valued at $10K, and you've got a shot to get them. These are real cards, people. You hit that. That's a nice night. So head to arenaclub.com/baseball and see for yourself. There's a link in the description. June 4th, 1 p.m. Big Twins Yanks set, Trev. Am I going to see you? I'll see you at the game tomorrow. A little stink bomber.
Are you going to come?
I think so.
Nicky Cass will be on the field. He already told me. So I know he's going to be there. I would love to see you. If not, I'll be in the office as well.
What's he doing on the field?
All JM.
Who cares? I'm going to sock him in the face.
All JM Wednesday? Oh, yeah. Boy. In person?
Oh, boy.
Oh, let's get physical. Let's get physical. Everyone, enjoy your week. Summer's here. It's baseball season. Only a couple more puck and hoops games.
It's true. Chick sucks.
Can't wait for that city stroll. You know the city stroll I'm talking about.
Breathe in that good air.
That good air. The skin does look good today.
You look great.
Yeah, what's up? Good lighting.
We all do. BBD's nice Magic Hole.
Yeah, I like that. Pink shirts. Okay. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride.